Dear Dhamma friends, today I am going to explain the Dukkha. We have studied the impermanent conditions of all the things in our previous Dhamma talk. These things are very useful to us to practice Vipassana meditation. That is why we should learn these things. When we meditate, we are meditating, thinking on these things, impermanence, suffering, and no soul. These three facts are the basic things, basic aims to be understood clearly using our wisdom. First of all, we should know the meaning of Dukkha. Dukkha is a Pali word which appears in Sanskrit as Dukkha. Dukkha. And it is most often translated as pain, suffering, stress, or disease. And as an adjective, painful, stressful. The concept of Dukkha is one of the fundamental teachings of Buddhism. When we see the world, all are experiencing suffering. Though we are having lots of pleasurable things, at the end they are suffering. This is a truth in this world. Some people will say it is not true because some are enjoying full of their life. But as they are enjoying, they develop cravings on those things. As a result of those cravings, they get birth again and again in this birth cycle. It means they are gaining suffering because of those enjoyments, pleasurable things. It is difficult to understand. When someone enjoy, they never think as it is a cause of suffering. Just they enjoy. They never think. We can understand clearly this fact studying the suffering or Dukkha. The conception of Dukkha may be viewed from three aspects. Dukkha as ordinary suffering. It is given in Pali text Dukkha Dukkha. Ordinary suffering. I will explain these things in next slides. Dukkha as produced by change. The second one is Viparinama Dukkha. Viparinama Dukkha. Viparinama means changing. The third one is Dukkha as conditioned state. Sankhara Dukkha. Sankhara Dukkha, conditioned. We will see the meanings and explanations later. Let's see this Pali sentence, Yada niccam tam dukkham. Whatever is impermanent is dukkha. Yat aniccam tam dukkham. If there's impermanent condition in anything, it produces the suffering. The Buddha was realistic and objective. He says, with regard to life and the enjoyment of sense pleasures, that one should clearly understand three things: attraction or enjoyment. In Pali it is mentioned that asada. Second one, evil consequence or danger or unsatisfactoriness, adinava. It means result. Third one, freedom or liberation, nissarana. These three words are very important: asada, adinava, nissarana. Just we get experiences through sense organs. It is called asada. We see pictures. They may be good or bad. Adinava means through those sensual pleasures, we get results, may be good or bad. Adinava means results. After seeing the results, we think we have to move ahead. Nissarana. These things are useless. We have to move ahead. We should control these things. Nissarana, nekkhamma, nissarana, these words are very popular in suttas. We think, as you have already decided, these things, conventional things, worldly things are useless. We have to move ahead, we have to meditate, and we have to reach to the final goal. In this manner, we think. It is called nissarana. Nissarana, freedom or liberation. The world is in continuous flux and is impermanent. The world is always changing, moving, arising and passing, arising, remaining and passing. As Buddha explained, uppada, titi, bhanga. Uppada means arise, titi means remain, bhanga means destruction. It's destroying. In each and every objects or things or beings, we can see the same nature. Uppada, titi, bhanga. They are connected to this study. By realizing the law of dependent origination, the Buddha knew the cause of suffering. By realizing the same law, he also knew that if tanha is removed, suffering will end. Imasmin sati idang hoti. Imasmin asati idang nahoti. It is in Maha Nidana Sutta in Digha Nikaya. This is the theory of causality. If it is there, this one may be here. Think about seeds and plants. If there are seeds, they are producing plants. If we throw them in the muddy place or in a good or wet place, we can see the plants are growing. If there are not seeds, there may not be plants. In the same manner, we should think. If there are cravings, there may be rebirth. This is the theory of causality. Theory of causality. Dukkha arises because of thirst or craving. and it ceases because of wisdom. If we develop our wisdom, thinking on three characteristics, anicca, dukkha, anatta, as we have practiced, the cravings, seeds of cravings will be removed from our subconsciousness. And the seeds of karma, actions, may be removed from our subconsciousness. Then no more life process. That is why we work hard to destroy or remove those seeds from our subconsciousness. Buddha wanted his disciples to practice these things, meditating on three characteristics. I have taken a topic early in my Dhamma talk. In the beginning, I recited it. Let's recite it together. This is very important verse for this Dhamma talk. Sabbe sankhara anicchati yada paññāya passati ata nibbindati dukkhe esa maggo visuddhiya. Esa maggo visuddhiya. This is the path to the liberation. Visuddhi means liberation. Esa maggo means this is the path. Sabbe sankhara dukkhati. If you think all the mental formations and all the formations are producing suffering, yada paññāya passati, you should see them using your wisdom. Paññā means wisdom. Paññāya passati. Atta, then dukkhe nibbindati. The words are scattered in this verse. When we take the meaning, we have to think about the order of the words. So, atta dukkhe nibbindati. In third line, it is separated, scattered. Atta means then, dukkhe nibbindati. Disgust. Nibbindati means disgust. In suffering. Dukkhe, in suffering. Disgust in suffering. Sabbe sankhara anicchati. Earlier we have studied thinking about all the things as impermanent. One should have a disgusting, and he should see it through his wisdom. And that one also the cause for the liberation. It will support to reach to the liberation. Esa maggo visuddhya. There are three verses related to the three characteristics. First one is sabbe sankhara anicchati. In last discourse I have given it. In this discourse we see sabbe sankhara dukkhati. Dukkhati. On Sunday, we will see sabbe sankhara anattati. Sankhara, sabbe dhamma. In some places, sabbe sankhara. Sometimes sabbe dhamma. Especially sabbe dhamma. Sabbe dhamma anattati. In this way, there are three verses recited by the Buddha. Why Buddha has taken sabbe dhamma? Sabbe dhamma means all the things, even the dhammas. In the word dhamma, everything is included. Even the craving on higher spiritual path, Sotapatti, Sakadagami, Anagami. Don't take them as your own. That is why Buddha has used that Sabbe Dhamma. In the word Dhamma, all the phenomenon things, all the things animate and inanimate in this world are included. That word is more powerful than Sankhara. More powerful than Sankhara. Everything, even the Dhammas also, should not be taken as one's own. That idea is given. When one perceives with wisdom that all conditioned things are full of suffering, then one turns away from suffering. This is the path of purification. Esa maggo visuddhya. Sankhara, formations, conditioned, mental and physical things, all are included here. This word is giving very confused meanings, difficult to understand without having enough knowledge. Sankhara. Here I have taken three meanings. Animate and inanimate objects originated from causes. Animate and inanimate objects, all the things in this world and in this universe are sankharas. We can take that meaning. The second meaning is thoughts. In the discussion of five aggregates, the thoughts are given. Thoughts originated in the mind through three channels. Kaya Sankhara, Kaya, Vacha, Mano, there are three channels. Then Kaya Sankhara, Vachi Sankhara, Mano Sankhara. Kaya means body. Through the body, we generate various kinds of thoughts. When we do something using our body, Kaya Sankharas are coming up. And Vachi Sankhara, when we talk, the formations connected to the words are originated. Mano Sankhara, with the mind. Three channels means we do good or bad things using these three channels. After doing good or bad things, we get birth cycle and we get births again and again in this sansara. The second meaning is thoughts. Third meaning is accumulations. Seeds of merits, seeds of demerits. Demerits means sins. And arupavachara jhanas, cause for the formless births in Brahma worlds, which have got long life process. This one is given in many suttas as punyabhi sankhara, apunyabhi sankhara and anenjabhi sankhara. Punyabhi sankhara means merits. Apunyabhi sankhara means demerits. And anenja means a little bit stable, but they are also producing suffering in this birth cycle. Endless suffering is there. After practicing arupavachara jhanas, there are two kinds of jhanas, rupavachara jhana and arupavachara jhana. Rupavachara jhanas are included in merits, in the seeds of merits, as punyabhi sankhara. The arupavachara jhana means they are having little bit stable, permanent positions, but they are also going to be changed. If you have developed those jhanas, arupavachara jhanas, without losing it, if you die, you will get birth in Brahma worlds which have got lone life. Lone life means more than thousands of eons, thousands of years. You can live there. After ending the merits which are connected to that Brahma life, you will come down again to the human world, or you will go to the hell also. That is why it is explained as not permanent. It is not the final goal. Before the Buddha, some ascetics, sages practiced these jhanas. They taught that this is the final goal. They go to the arupavachara Brahma world and they will end their birth process. They never come to human world or hell or divine world. Buddha found that is not the end. Even those Brahmas will come down, losing their merits, ending their merits, and losing their deep concentration. It will be changed. Even though they have developed very deep concentration or deep absorption, one day it will change. Yeah, it is not a permanent thing. That is why Buddha said these accumulations are producing the suffering, producing the birth cycle again and again. So they are named as sankhara, punya, apunya, ananja. Sometimes we will think punya means merits. They are producing rebirths. So why we do punya? Why we do merits? Useless. You will think like that, no? Yes, the nature of punya or merits is producing good births. You will go to the heaven, you will go to the Brahma world, you will get birth in this human world again and again. You will have a luxurious life with the support of those merits. Buddha said, it's true. They are producing good births. If you end the merits, what will happen to you? You will experience demerits. You will go to the hells. That is why Buddha said, the remits and the demerits are producing suffering. We have to remove all those seeds, meditating on three characteristics. They are producing suffering. If we get birth, it is a reason for the suffering. When the Buddha expressed these words, monks were afraid. Venerable Sir, we have already accumulated merits, and we will get births many times in this birth cycle. What to do now? What to do now? Then Buddha said, no need to be afraid. Buddha gave a Dhamma talk on Ma Punya Bhai. Don't be afraid of merits. Because the monks were there with afraid of merits. At that time, Buddha gave another Dhamma talk. let it be there, those merits, you can remove them. And the demerits also you can remove. Don't worry. If you practice meditation, you can do it. In Dhammapada also there's a verse. If one remove all these merits and demerits, he will be liberated. He will be liberated. There will not be rebirth. In that way, Buddha has given a verse. Once a group of monks obtained a subject of meditation from the Buddha, they went to the forest and practiced meditation. However, they made a little progress. Therefore, they returned to the Buddha and asked him for another subject of meditation. The Buddha reflected that due to their past lives, they were ready to perceive the impermanence of things. Buddha expressed them this verse and advised them to meditate on its meaning. So, sabbe sankhara anicchati, sabbe sankhara dukkhati, sabbe dhamma anattati. Buddha recited these 3 verses in front of those monks who couldn't attain arahanthood. After taking meditation instructions, they went to the forest and they meditated, but they couldn't attain arahanthood or other higher positions of the path of the liberation. So after taking instruction from the Buddha, also they couldn't attain that position. So how you can reach to that position, gaining instruction from us? It is not a simple thing. Buddha instructed to some monks, seeing their mind and all the previous kusalas. Buddha instructed, but they couldn't attain arahanthood. Then they come back. So you have to come back again many times to us, because we can't read your mind. We don't know how much merits, demerits and skills are there in your mind. That is why this task is very difficult to be succeeded. But we have to try. This is the path. When we follow it, we can do it. After coming back, Buddha knew they have got practice in their previous births thinking about impermanence and the suffering and no soul. Therefore, I have to give that instruction now. After getting those instructions, they went back to the forest and they meditated. They all attained arahanthood. The causality explains the arising and passing away of things. It is that everything in the world is with the characteristics of impermanent suffering and no soul. Anicca, dukkha, anatta. It's so clear to you all. The 4 Aryan truths are the most basic formulation of the Buddha's teaching. They are expressed as follows. All existence is dukkha. The word dukkha has been variously translated as suffering, anguish, pain, or unsatisfactoriness. The Buddha's insight was that our lives are a struggle and we do not find ultimate happiness or satisfaction in anything we experience. This is the problem of existence. The second one, the cause of dukkha, is craving. The natural human tendency is to blame our difficulties on things outside ourselves. But the Buddha says that their actual root is to be found in the mind itself. In particular, our tendency to grasp at things or alternatively to push them away places us fundamentally at odds with the way life really is. The third one, the cessation of dukkha comes with the cessation of craving, as we are the ultimate cause of our difficulties, we are also the solution. We cannot change the things that happen to us, but we can change our responses. That last verse is very important. We can change our responses towards all those things. There is a path that leads from dukkha. Although the Buddha throws responsibility back on to the individual, he also taught methods through which we can change ourselves. For example, the Noble Eightfold Path. This is the Four Noble Truths. As you all know, we have to clearly understand. Until this moment we haven't got that much clear understanding, just we have got a general knowledge. Sometimes we will say, I know very well Four Noble Truths. I know very well three characteristics. I know very well the dependent origination, the Paticca Samuppada. You will say, but that knowledge is not that much established in our wisdom. When we see a flower which is decaying, fading away, just we think the impermanency. But sometimes we think the beauty of the flower. We think beauty of the things in this world, waterfalls, the gardens, flower gardens, the beautiful of the human bodies. We think, we appreciate these things. When we go to a funeral house, just you will repent. You will produce sorrow. After seeing the dead body, you think everything is impermanent and producing suffering and no soul. After the coming out from that house, you don't think so. When you see other persons, when you see other things, do you think that those three characteristics? Don't think. In Sri Lanka, when there is a funeral, people go and cry and repent. They recite themselves Anicca Sankhara in front of the dead body. Then they come out. Then the friends are meeting. Some cried inside, no? Then after coming out, they are laughing. And sometimes they are playing games outside of the funeral house. In Sri Lanka, they are playing cards, they are playing carom, and they are playing various kinds of things, and they are drinking, they are laughing, shouting, because they have to stay whole night without sleeping. Without sleeping. They should protect the body. If they sleep, the bad spirits will come there. That is why they are protecting the dead body. Here, no, that kind of thing, no? Okay. So, our people are afraid of those bad spirits. That is why they don't sleep. Many people are going back, but the people in the house, relatives and close friends, they don't leave. Night time one group, daytime another group. They are protecting the body, dead body. The thing is, when they see the dead body, they think about three characteristics. After a few minutes, they change their mind into pleasurable things. Amazing. It's amazing thing because just cry and enjoy. Two things are happening in the closed period. So they think about impermanent conditions temporarily for few minutes. Suffering, oh no soul. The thought is for only few minutes. That is why I am saying they don't have the perfect knowledge on three characteristics. They haven't developed that wisdom much. Thinking about you, think about you. You also maybe have the same thing, no? After practicing vipassana meditation, you went back to your home. After going to your home, you watch televisions, you sing songs, and you enjoy with your family members, and you enjoy with food and smell and those things. So it's happening like that, no? It means your vipassana thought or your wisdom was for a few hours or few minutes. It was not a permanent one. It was not a perfect wisdom. We have got a temporary thoughts on three characteristics. Now, you will think about these facts. But when you see a bunch of beautiful flower, the vipassana thought will lose. Then you will see a very beautiful flower bunch. Oh, how much beautiful. This is the nature of the mind. That is why Buddha wanted us to get a perfect wisdom on these matters. Unsatisfactoriness. Early Buddhism never denied the satisfaction. Asada, that man can derive from worldly things. While not denying satisfaction, it emphasized the fact that this satisfaction is generally followed by evil or harmful consequences, as I explained earlier, adinava. There's one question. It means the Buddha refused the satisfaction in the worldly people. How the Buddha has the Buddha refused all the satisfactory things in this worldly people, in this world? No, Buddha approved for the normal persons. You can enjoy. You can enjoy satisfying your sense organs. But you should remember, it produces the craving. Because of the craving, you will get birth again and again. You will get the suffering. If you want to enjoy, okay, you enjoy. But you should remember, it is a cause of the suffering. For ordinary people, for normal persons, Buddha instructed Atti Sukha, Bhoga Sukha, Anana Sukha, Anavajya Sukha, the happiness of having wealth. Yes, you earn wealth, earn money. Atti Sukha. Bhoga Sukha, yes, you enjoy using that money. Bhoga Sukha. Anavajya Sukha means you have to enjoy without doing any harmful things. You have to follow the right livelihood. anavajja, don't do wrong things. Enjoy with right things. Don't do wrong things. Ananasukha means you should not borrow money. If you borrow money, it is producing suffering. I have borrowed money, when I can give back, when I can return it. It is always producing suffering, stress in the mind until the complete the borrow. We have to think about these things. The Buddha wanted the normal people enjoy, satisfy their lay life. But Buddha gave instructions. If you do these things, you are generating cravings. As a result of producing cravings, tanha, you will get birth again and again. It is with you. My duty is showing the path. If you take wrong path, it is not my mistake. Once a person came to us and listened to the Dhamma. After the Dhamma talk, Buddha said, I have given the correct path. It is your own duty to go on this path. If you are a fool, you will take another path. I can't get the responsibility for that. For example, Buddha said, this is the path to the Rajagahanuvara, Rajgir, from Sravasti. That path is very correct. You go ahead, you will meet the Rajgriha, the city named as Rajgir, today Rajgir. If that person is a wicked one or fool, he will not turn to that side. He needs to go to Rajagahanuvara, Rajgir. But he will turn to another side, then he will go on that way. What will happen to him? He will never reach to Rajgir. He will wander here and there, he will move, roam here and there. He will never reach to Rajgir. Given that example, Buddha said, I have shown the real path. It's your duty to follow this path. If you take wrong path, it is not my fault. It is your fault. It is your fault. So Buddha has given instructions using hundreds or thousands of discourses. He has shown the path. If the people in this world are following wrong path, that is not the fault of Buddha. That is not the fault of Buddha. This one is very important. It seems that human suffering is due to attachment to things that are themselves unsatisfactory. Eternal and immoral self. The Upanishadic theory of an eternal and immoral self seems to have been intended to satisfy this deep-seated craving of man for permanent happiness. But for the Buddha, who realized that everything in this world is impermanent, such a solution was not in the least satisfactory. While realizing that there is no permanent or immutable entity called the self, he also found that belief in such an entity led to further suffering. Do you know Upanishad? In Indian philosophy, we can see the philosophy of Upanishads. In that philosophy, it is teaching the two souls are there. Personal or individual soul is one. The other one is supreme soul. Supreme Soul, that is Brahma. Individuals are the production of Brahma. He has created all the beings and all the things. That teaching is very attractive. I have studied while I was in India. It is teaching. These things are different one by one. Even human bodies are different. Each person's. Even in the same womb, we were born of the mother, but our face, our body is having some differences. There are different kinds of flowers, different kind of trees, different kind of objects in this world. It is not a natural creation. It is created by the Brahma. It is created by the Brahma. He is the architecture of this world. If there are 5 members in the same family, faces are very same, but he put some symbol on the face as sister as good. So that is the difference. Maybe a mark backside, or on leg, he put a special mark to recognize as a separate person. No one is similar to other in this world. Is it correct? Yes, it is very correct. These things are doing by the supervisor named by Brahma, according to this Upanishadic theory. It is teaching like that. He is the creator. So, meditate on Brahma, then after concentration, deep concentration, you will absorb in the Supreme Brahma. That is the teaching of Upanishad. So, they are also meditating on Brahma. Sometimes Omkara in Hinduism. They meditate. So after deep concentration, they say the person who have well concentrated on Brahma will reach to the Supreme Brahma. He will enjoy eternal bliss there. Will not get birth again and again. He is called Jivan Mukta, or liberated. The Buddha said, no, the Brahma also is facing to the impermanent condition. Even all those Brahmas are facing to the impermanent condition. They are having suffering, they have got no soul condition. That is not the last, that is not the end, that is not the liberation. You are mischieved. You have to think all those Brahma lives also having got impermanent and suffering and no soul condition. Dukkha. From the fact of the impermanence of the world, it follows that all things are unsatisfactory. Dukkha. It is said that the 5 aggregates of grasping, pancha upadana khanda, are dukkha. The term is used in the wider sense of unsatisfactory. Dukkha we can take as unsatisfactory. In brief, all the 5 aggregates are producing suffering. Sankittena panchupadana khanda dukkha. That is the brief introduction on dukkha. 5 aggregates are the form, the feelings or sensation. Vedana, sanya means signs. Sanskara means formations or thoughts, mental formations. Vijnana means consciousness. We have already studied these things. So these things are producing suffering in this birth cycle. There are three kinds of dukkha, so sufferings, as we have pointed out earlier. Dukkha is the first one. Dukkha, the suffering of suffering. This refers to the physical and emotional discomfort and pain all humans experience in their lives. This kind of dukkha arises in response to unpleasant physical or mental experiences, often referred to as unpleasant feelings or sensations. The circumstances of everyone's life will include unpleasant experiences. But these are not in themselves what the Buddha meant by dukkha. It's the aversion to the unpleasantness that is dukkha. And so, the origin of dukkha is tanha, that craving or longing for the circumstances of our lives to be different. That craving is like hitting our heads against a wall, because this is how things are. We were born and so are subject to injury, illness, old age, and loss. Our loved ones are subject to the same conditions, and so we will experience unpleasant feelings of separation and loss. So we are experiencing the suffering because of old age. The hair is losing, hair is getting white color, and body is decaying day by day. We don't like to see these changes. Some young girls and boys are looking their body in front of the mirror. If there's a pimple or something, they will cry. Oh, I have got a pimple. There was a girl in Sri Lanka. Mother came to me and informed it. My daughter is crying after seeing a pimple on the face. She is crying. Few days she has cried because of pimple. So see the nature of the world. They don't like to see the bad things on the body. It's producing suffering. These things are called dukkha. The only way to keep dukkha from arising is to change our response to unpleasant experience. If we can acknowledge unpleasant feelings and sensations, be with them and let them run their course, dukkha will not arise. So let them pass. When you get those kinds of experience, no need to think about the suffering or suffer. Just understand the three characteristics. Then the suffering will be removed from you. The suffering of suffering also describes emotional pain. Our feelings get hurt, we worry about the future, and we ruminate on our misfortunes. We suffer straight suffering anytime. We find ourselves in a situation we would rather be done with. See these Pali lines, how we can remove suffering. Anicce anicca sanya. Anicce anicca sanya. We should think about impermanent things as impermanent. All these bodies are facing to impermanent. So we have to think they are facing to impermanent. All the things in this world are facing to impermanent condition. Then we have to recognize it clearly. They are impermanent. Then the craving will lose. Dukkhe dukkha sanya. And we have to recognize the things as full of suffering. They are producing suffering. This life is producing suffering. If we know it, there will not be a craving on that. So the suffering will be removed thinking on dukkhe dukkha sanya. Anicce anicca sanya. Dukkhe dukkha sanya. Anattani anatta sanya. We have to think about the persons or things as not mine. These things are not mine. If I have got that idea, that view, there will not be suffering. Your house, your vehicle, your family members, your wealth and all those things which are connected to you are not belong to you. Then you will ask, who are the person belong to these things? If I say they are not belong to you, you will ask, Bhante, who are the person belong to these things? No one. All these are produced because of the four elements and the connection of the elements. They are facing two impermanent suffering and no soul conditions. That is why I don't take them as my own. Even my family members, I don't take as my own. Do you take them as your own? After getting the clear understand, you will not think as your own. Your husband, your wife, can you take them as they are not your own? Difficult, but in the deep sense, with the knowledge of Vipassana, we have to think in that manner. No mine. I have to leave them one day. They will die before me. I will concentrate my mind. I participated at a funeral festival event in Sri Lanka. The wife is there, the husband passed away. The wife was well concentrated at the funeral rituals. After the funeral ritual, I asked, you didn't cry? Your husband passed away. Why you didn't cry? Was there any enmity or any anger related to your husband? No. Venerable Sir, I have understood the reality. I have treated him well while he was living. I gave medicines. I treated well. Now I no need to cry. I have done my duty well. And I am thinking the impermanent condition and suffering and no soul condition now. I am practicing Vipassana even in this very difficult moment. I am practicing Vipassana. If you can do the same thing, it's great. Don't cry after passing away your husband or wife or your family members. You say, oh, Bhante, it is difficult, I have to cry. Or else other people will think this one is not having love or something towards them. Other people will think because he is not crying, he is laughing. No need to laugh. Just remain in the middle position. No happiness, no sorrow. Observe the middle position, equanimity position. Okay. Then anicca sanya, dukkha sanya, anattani anatta sanya. The Vidya Bhagiya Dhamma Sutta elaborates on how the perception of impermanence, anicca sanya, should be done. That is, in this sequence, contemplating the impermanence in all formations, anicca sanya. Perceiving suffering in impermanence, anicca dukkha sanya. Perceiving not self in suffering, dukkha anatta sanya. Perceiving the abandoning of defilement, pahana sanya. Abandon means pahana. Pahana means abandon. Perceiving the fading away of lust, viraga sanya. Viraga, no any lust on these things. Perceiving the cessation of suffering, nirodha sanya. The Cheto Vimutti Phala Sutta, This is the seventh one. There are two suttas named as Cheto Vimutti Phala suttas. States that the first 5 practices are conducive to the fruition and the benefits of both liberation of mind and of liberation through wisdom. These 6 facts are very important. You have to remember them. Anicce, it means anicca sanya. Anicce dukkha sanya. Dukkhe anatta sanya. Pahana sanya, viraga sanya, nirodha sanya. These 3 factors are very common in suttas. Pahana sanya, viraga sanya, nirodha sanya. Pahana means let them pass. Remove the cravings on those things. Pahana, remove the cravings or lust. Viraga means don't attach to those things. Viraga. Raga means attachment, lust. Viraga means no attachment to anything. Viraga. Nirodha means always try to escape from those things, thinking 3 characteristics. Escape means not run away. Just we think, we see all these things. You are in front of the television, but you are not generating lust on those things. You are not generating anger on those things. You are not generating soul, thinking my and mine, I and mine. No generating any cravings. Seeing the pictures, seeing the teledramas, listening to the songs. You are there with your family members. You are looking at those things. You are listening those things. But you are not producing cravings in your mind. You are with the thought of impermanent suffering and no soul. That is the way of removing cravings. Viraga sanya is there. Viraga sanya is there. Nirodha sanya, then you think I have to escape from these things. I have to remove these cravings. Nirodha, that is the path to the cessation or liberation. You think in that manner. Sankhara dukkha. Sankhara dukkha, the suffering of existence. Sankhara refers to the intentional formation of thoughts, as we discussed earlier, often translated as mental formations. All the meanings should remember, because it is very important to memorize while we are meditating. The clear understanding should be there about the sankhara. This word is very useful. Sankhara. That is why I am highlighting it and explaining much. Sankhara dukkha has its origin in tanha, craving, because that mental activity reflects a craving for things to be how we want them to be. We can alleviate sankhara dukkha by bringing these mental formations into conscious awareness in mindfulness practice, inside or outside of meditation. It means when we are having open eyes, at that time also we should think the impermanent condition of all these things. And when we are in closed eyes, at that time also we have to think. If you have developed the wisdom on these 3 characteristics, though you are having closed eyes, though you are having opened eyes, in both times you are practicing vipassana. Even in this moment you can practice vipassana, seeing these things as impermanent and producing suffering. There may be flower bunch, no? There's a flower bunch. After seeing this, you can meditate. You can think impermanency. These flowers are fading now, fading. After a few days, it will decayed. It will be decayed. That is the nature. The lamp, oil lamp, will not be there after a few days. If the wind comes, it will vanish. It will vanish. In that manner, at present also we can see the three characteristics. Then, as we get more skilled at maintaining mindfulness, we are better able to shift our focus from the pleasantness or unpleasantness of our experience to its impermanent nature. This insight into impermanence enables us see that trying to control our experience to make it only pleasant just increases the presence of suffering in our lives. This can be the first step in letting go of craving or longing for our life to be other than it is in the present moment. We can also alleviate such suffering by cultivating more skillful mental states such as four sublime status: loving kindness, compassion, sympathetic joy, and equanimity. When we cultivate these qualities, at that time also those cravings are removing from our mind, because no chance to develop those cravings in our mind while we are meditating on these things. Four sublime stated Brahma Viharas. When we practice meditation, there is no chance to grow the cravings. That is why we are trying to meditate in every moment, every second. Yes. Viparinama Dukkha is the third one. I will stop teaching this. Now we have passed 1 hour and another 15 minutes. It will get late. No? Viparinama Dukkha is the last one. The suffering of change. Whereas Dukkha arises in response to unpleasant experiences, Viparinama Dukkha arises in response to pleasant ones. It is tied to impermanence or change. Viparinama means changing. Viparinama means changing. As with the other two kinds of dukkha, dukkha and sankhara dukkha, the origin of viparinama dukkha is craving. When we are enjoying a pleasant experience, we crave for it to continue. The suffering of change, viparinama dukkha, arises from our inability to accept the truth of impermanence, or rather from our tendency to forget it. If the suffering of suffering describes an experience we wish were over, the suffering of change can be seen as its opposite. We suffer even when experiencing pleasure. This sentence is very important to you all. We suffer even when experiencing pleasure. So how it comes? When we are enjoying, we get suffering. I mentioned earlier, we develop cravings while we are enjoying. Cravings, attachments are there. As a result of developing craving, we will get suffering again and again in this birth cycle. That is the philosophy given by the Buddha. Then some people think this Buddhism is teaching only suffering, no use of learning. Actually, there are some people, they don't like to listen to the teaching of the Buddha because it is teaching impermanence and suffering and no soul conditions. So why we learn these things? We have to earn money, we have to enjoy, we should enjoy well in this life, no chance again. Optimism. Yeah, it's teaching optimistic philosophical facts. So actually it is not such kind of thing. That is why I explained earlier, there is teaching for the pleasurable things. Enjoy your life as husbands and wives. You can enjoy, no problem. But you have to think it produces suffering. That's my teaching. That's my teaching. You have to understand it. If you like, go on your way, no problem. I don't disturb you. In that manner, Buddha expressed all these ideas. So, we suffer even when experiencing pleasure because deep down we know it will eventually come to an end. Yes, there is suffering even in pleasure, indeed, more subtle than what we overtly understand as pain. Sansaric pain. It is cause for the sansaric pain, suffering. So it's enough, no? So I have more slides. I don't want to give more explanations. These things are very important. Remember them. Now you have studied impermanent, anicca, then dukkha, suffering. We will learn anatta on Sunday. Don't miss it. Please come and join. Then it's enough for you for this birth cycle. No need to learn more. It's enough. Yes. If you have got a clear understanding, it's enough. Just you follow the path. This is endless learning and learning, endless. But we have to get the clear knowledge on this. And that is why we listen again and again. We read the suttas. We practice these things. When we practice, we should know the way clearly. That is why we are learning again and again. Sometimes these teachings may forget after a few months. When I come next year, if I ask questions regarding these matters, can you answer? Sometimes you will forget. Because of the time being, we forget those things. That is the nature of our mind. However, I think the knowledge is stored in your subconsciousness. Then it will help one day. You will attain final goal at once, hearing one line of this stanza. Yeah, you will reach to the final goal. As the persons attain arahanthood in the period of Buddha, they didn't learn much. You know, Sunita, Sopaka, Rajumala, Tisa Gotami, Patachara, there are many characters, no? They didn't learn these things. After hearing few lines of the verses, they attained arahanthood. How? They have practiced the wisdom in their previous births. That is the reason. So you are practicing now. As a result of this practice, you will attain final goal within few seconds. Okay, say sadhu 3 times. Okay. Okay, now it's time to ask questions.
My question is a very common question, Bhante. I think everybody will ask you this sometime in their lives or in your life. We all get old, right? And we all go through pain, physical pain. And sometimes it's quite unbearable. How would you give an explanation or give an answer to somebody who is in actual physical pain? And sometimes even to the extent of they say they want to end their lives because it's so painful. I just wish I can just die, stop all this pain that I'm going through. What would you advise them to do?
Yeah, brother, as you mentioned, we are all having pains, leg pains, back pains, and headache, various kinds of pains because of the old age. They are increasing more and more day by day. When we experience these things, actually we have to think even the Buddha also experienced these kinds of pains. I am a very normal person, a general person. So those pains will come to me. Diseases will come to me. Even Buddha experienced some diseases such as diarrhea and back pain and headache, those things. These are originated because of the previous karmas Buddha explained. this body is the result of previous karmas. The pains are coming up, increasing. At that time, just we think impermanent. This pain is not having continuously. One day it will vanish. Yeah, I will take medicine, I will take practices. If we practice meditation, the pains will lose. We can control. If you get samadhi position, you can control those pains. You know Mahakashyapa Thera, Girimananda Thera, they experienced much pain. Buddha reached to them, asked, how are you, Venerable Mahakashyapa, Venerable Moggala, Venerable Girimananda? They said, Venerable Sir, I am suffering so much. Balhagilano. I am experiencing many diseases. Can't bear. Difficult to live. Difficult to stay. At that time, Buddha taught them anicca sanya, dukkha sanya, anatta sanya, these things. Yes. Dasa sanya. Yeah, you have learned dasa sanya. It means when we experience those kinds of pains, we also have to remember those facts. Anicca sanya, dukkha sanya, adinava sanya, anatta sanya, and so on. We have to think. That is the way. But still the pain will be there. No need to worry. The thought is very important. We are developing our wisdom while we are experiencing even pain. So that is the teaching of the Buddha. Pain will be there with us more and more. It will increase more and more. We can't control it. It's a natural thing. Natural things are difficult to control. They are coming. We can't control the raining or thundering or other bad natural disasters. They are natural. The pain also natural. So how we can control? Difficult. We have to think those kinds of 10 factors, including anicca, dukkha, anatta. Okay.
Thank you.
Good evening, Bhante, brothers and sisters. Bhante, we come to this world with nothing, and we left this world with nothing also. But in between life and death, right, mankind are trying to seek for survival, food, shelter, and clothing. Basically, I see it's not really craving, it's a survival in this world. So I believe we come to this world, right? Actually, nothing owes you in life. The cessation of sufferings, right, basically is actually, the way I perceive it is actually try to overcome, as the Buddha said, do goods, avoid evils, avoid greeds, avoid angers, avoid ignorance, and practice the Eighth Noble Path. I believe with this practicing, right, you will basically purify your mind. When you have a stable mind, like, you don't fear anything. I believe the spirit of Buddhism is actually trying to teach us to learn how to be happy, to survive in this world. They always said, I even have, when I was stage, they say, you Buddhism teach about suffering. What else can you say other than suffering, you see? Actually, the word suffering is very debatable, I told them. It's how you live the fullest life with full courage, confidence and wisdom, and what is the purpose of life. This is actually what Buddha is trying to teach. Maybe you can enlighten us on that.
Okay. Actually, your idea is very important. In Akkana Sutta, Buddha explained, this is the best place to cultivate those good skills. You will not get another chance in this birth cycle. You have reached to this human world to practice, develop the mindfulness and wisdom. If you go to animal world or hungry ghost world or Brahma world or the Deva world, there will not be a chance to practice these things because of the suffer or pleasures. Suffer or pleasures. You will not touch this path. You will not enter. Kano vema upacchaga, don't miss this chance. Buddha said, don't miss this chance. Actually, we have to enlighten all the human beings in this world. This is a good chance. You have reached to this human world to do this work. Eating, sleeping, enjoying, these are common things. Even animals, they are eating, they are sleeping, they are enjoying, but they are not practicing Dhamma. The human life is there to be practiced Dhamma. If we go to other births, we will not enter to that path. That is why all the human beings must follow this path. They should remove the cravings from their mind. They have to practice the vipassana meditation. If other people know this, they also will come, but there is no chance to get knowledge about these things. They never listen to the Dhamma. They don't go to the, many people don't go to the temples. Just they are working, earning, eating, sleeping, doing the same things. They spend their lives. Only those things. Now see, you have taken a very special path. You came here without thinking that these obstacles, disturbances. I thought this Dhamma talk will be cancelled today because of the raining and thundering, flooding. But you came here, no? It means you have entered to the path. If you enter to the path, you will follow the path in next births also. Buddha said you have to start this work in this human world. After getting this human life, luckily you have got this human birth. Then don't miss this chance. Kano ve ma upacchaga. It is the Pali sentence. There are 8 kinds of places explained in that sutta Akkana. If you go to hell, if you go to animal world, if you go to hungry ghost world, you will not practice these things. And also, if there's the Buddha born, if there's the Buddha in this world, but you are not having enough knowledge, then the Dhamma will not be fruitful for you. Though there is the Buddha. In the period of Buddha, how many people lived in India? All people didn't reach to the Buddha because of they didn't have enough knowledge. So no use of having Buddha in such kind of position. And if there's a Buddha, at that time you are intelligent, then you can clearly understand, you can develop your mind and wisdom following his teaching. In this manner, Buddha explained the value of human life And we have to use this human life to develop our mind and wisdom. Other things are very common and general. Everybody doing the same things, even animals. This is the teaching of the Buddha. Therefore, we have to encourage our relatives, our friends, to practice Buddhism as good friends or Kalyana Mittas. If you do it, the credit will come to you, but we don't have craving on that credit. Just we lead them to the correct path. Saying these words, don't miss this chance. Say it to your friends. Yeah, if you go to bad words, never get chance. Don't worry, you have entered to the path, then you will get good births and you will practice again and again this path. You will end your birth cycle very soon. We will destroy all the cravings very soon. You will attain final goal very soon. I am 100% sure you will attain final goal soon. Okay.